What do we know about why the president decided to name the alleged whistleblower?
Well, Paul, it seems like it's something that President Trump has been warming up to for a couple of months. I mean, several months, really. He's tweeted about the whistleblower dozens of times, maybe 100 times, just in the last few days. I think on Thursday he had a link to a conservative news site where if somebody clicked on the story he linked to, they would have seen the whistleblower's, the alleged whistleblower's name. So it just seemed like he was ramping up the pressure day by day. And he has said, to reporters and in tweets that he feels like he deserves to meet this person, this man or woman, and has really kind of set out to discredit the alleged whistleblower, a person who actually still works in the U.S. administration. So it just seems like he's still angry about the role that this person played in his impeachment and has kind of set out to unmask, as he's threatened to do many times.
I thought the United States protected whistleblowers, so is this even legal?
That's a very, very good question, and we spoke to some lawyers today who believe Trump broke one, if not two laws, that one of the key sort of issues of the job of the president is to protect whistleblowers. And it sounds like they're very upset by this, and they may be considering their options for what kind of response to make. And I don't know what channel they would go, or if they would go back to Congress and see if this could be possibly another article of impeachment for President Trump. We do know that even from within the White House that there's been concern about Trump going down this road, and maybe his advisors, some of them at least, have been telling him not to do it. As you know, Trump is pretty headstrong, and when he's got something he wants to do, he doesn't take advice. One group we also didn't hear from today, and I was a bit surprised, was there are 14 senators on a commission, basically a caucus to protect whistleblowers. We didn't hear anything fresh from any of those Democrats or Republicans today, but in the next few days we may hear more. And I suspect that when the impeachment trial gets underway in the Senate in January, that Democrats may have something to say about this action by Trump, because they're really quite upset about it.
Ros, away from the domestic front, President Trump's got a few international issues on his plate. He's had a call with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. What are the details there?
He is, and actually the White House has not confirmed that call with Russia's President Putin. We heard it from the Kremlin today. They had an announcement on their website that Putin wanted to call Trump and call Trump to thank the U.S. and to thank Trump for helping to prevent terrorist acts in Russia. And we don't know from the very brief readout we got from the Kremlin how many incidents Putin may have been referring to, or if there was something specific. There was one, actually an attack on the headquarters of Russia's Federal Security Service. That was a little bit before Christmas, but we don't know if that specifically is the one he was referring to. Putin earlier this month said that security services in Russia have prevented something like 54 terror incidents this year. We don't know if the U.S. was involved in a lot of those or just a few, but it does sound like they had common ground to speak again. And then the two also spoke, according to the Kremlin, on issues of mutual interest, which could be anything. It could be, it could be the pipeline, the gas pipeline to Germany. It could be North Korea. We just don't know.
Talking about North Korea, of course, is holding a second day session of the party plenary committee meeting in Pyongyang. We're hearing some news from the Korean Central News Agency. They're saying that Kim Jong-un has stressed the need of an independent economy, stressing the need to take steps to ensure sovereignty and security. Ros, can we say that we're safe from Kim Jong-un's suggestion of that Christmas gift for President Trump? I mean, that didn't come around.
Right. Well, Christmas has passed, but there's still Greek Christmas, and a present from Kim Jong-un could come at any time, really. And we did hear today from the U.S. National Security Advisor, Robert O'Brien. He sounded pretty upbeat, and some would even say a little bit naive when suggesting that Trump's personal diplomacy with Kim has prevented any kind of Christmas message or attack or missile test, because we know that there's been just ongoing missile testing from North Korea for months. And it's also unclear really at this point what the channels of communication are between Washington and Pyongyang. We understand they've been pretty strained during the fall, and I'm not sure that they've improved at all. Obviously, we know that Trump and Kim have had kind of a strong personal bond that they formed over the past couple of years, but I just don't know that there's anything in particular, certainly that is for public consumption, that the National Security Advisor could speak to. And it sounded like the rhetoric coming out of that Central Committee meeting that you refer to sounds pretty strong in terms of what Pyongyang wants.